Hey guys, this video is going to be about that there is a possibility that the Angkor Wat, yes, the Angkor Wat might be Herod's temple, or which is also called the second temple. Okay. So, the reason I'm making this video is because when looking at the Angkor Wat and other temples around Cambodia, it looks like the Angkor Wat is kind of new more than the other ones. So when you read temples, several temples in Cambodia older than the Angkor Wat, it's going to state several major pre-Angkoran and early Angkorian temples in Cambodia predate Angkor Wat, built in 12th century, notably Sambor Pre-Kuk, Baekong, and Phnom Baek-Han. Sambor Pre-Kuk, located in Kampong Tom province. This massive complex dates back to 7th century during the Chinla Kingdom. Baekong, built in the late 9th century by King Indravarman I, located in the Rulus area near Siem Reap. Phnom Baek-Han, built in the late 9th to early 10th century under King Yasovarman I. It served as the central temple of the first capital city at Angkor before Angkor Wat was ever conceptualized. Now, I'm not trying to say that the Angkor Wat is not Solomon's temple, but there's a possibility it could not, because there's temples older than the Angkor Wat. However, I still say the Angkor Wat is Solomon's temple, but we have to remember there was other temples like Herod the Great temples. Herod the Great was an Edomite, if you didn't know, a Roman. Then you had Zerubbabel temple. You also had high places built by King Solomon for gods like Chemosh and his wife's worship, right? And you also had Canaanite and Egyptian temples. So, but I'm making this video because there's a possibility Herod the Great might have built Angkor Wat. So as last time, right? We're gonna go to the French explorer, right? What did Henry Muhat say about Angkor Wat? French explorer Henry Muhat famously praised right? French naturalist Angkor Wat. He famously placed Angkor Wat in his journals as grander than anything left to us by Greece or Rome, and compared its architectural majesty to the work of an ancient Michelangelo. Right? The thing that I'm trying to look for is that I remember there was an explorer that said the Angkor Wat was built by Roman Jews. Right? So what explorer said that Angkor Wat built by Roman Jews? Okay, there it is. The Spanish explorer Gabriel Quiroga de Sant Antonio claimed that the Angkor Wat was built by Roman Jews. Remember, Roman is Esau. You had Jews in Rome, but anything Roman is Esau. Jews is Judean. Judean is the tribe of Judah, with some scattered Israel, right? So now we're gonna we'll say, why did he say Why did Gabriel say Roman Jews built Angkor Wat? Gabriel Quarogo des Insonio claimed that the Roman Jews built Angkor Wat because early European travelers often attributed monumental Asian ruins to familiar biblical or classical Western civilizations rather than acknowledging indigenous capabilities. Right? Eurocentric bias. Early modern European explorers. Remember, this 1600s. These are Negroes, black Negroes. Early modern black European explorers and black European writers frequently assumed the magnificent, advanced stone structures could only have been built by Romans, Greeks, or other Western figures like Alexander the Great. Biblical frameworks. Writers often tried to link distinct, unfamiliar Asian populations and ruins to biblical narratives such as the lost tribes of Israel. Alright. Now, we're going to read this part. Was the Herod Great Temple bigger than Solomon's Temple? Yes, Herod the Great's temple complex was significantly bigger than Solomon's Temple, doubling the size of the Temple Mount platform to roughly 36 acres. Right. So was the pre-Vigar built before Angkor Wat? Yes, the construction of pre-Vigar began in the late 9th century, decades before Angkor Wat. Right? So, and then, right, when we look at the Angkor Wat, who built the Angkor Wat? Angkor Wat was built by King Suryavarman. So when you get the word Syria, right, the Roman equivalent name for the Hindu sun god Surya is Sol, or Sol in Vitkus, meaning the unconquered sun. Both Syria and Sol share a linguistic root in Proto-Indo-European meaning the sun. So Suryavarman, I said King Solomon, he could be a Roman. He could be Herod the Great. Because Herod the Great was an Edomite. Was Herod the Great Roman? Okay. No, Herod is not Roman. You're likely thinking of Herod the Great, the Roman appointed king of Judea. Right? So, Herod the Great is Roman. So this could be wrong, but it's a good point. Remember, Gabriel Quarogo de Santonio said in his books that Roman Jews built Angkor Wat. And I'm assuming because the leader, Suryavarman, could be Herod the Great, who was a Roman ruling over Jews. You don't know, right? I mean, we don't know, right? Could be, could not. So yeah, I made this video. I just felt like it'd be a good video. Now, if Angkor Wat is, if the Angkor Wat is actually the second temple, right? What could be the first? So we have the Priya Vihar, right? Vihara of the gods is ancient evidence built by the Khmer Empire as a Hindu temple, right? And it's older than the Angkor Wat, right? Located in the same area, Mount Meru, right? So, yeah. However, the blueprint of the temple is kind of, it's kind of making me not think that it's Solomon's temple. But, but yeah. We'll just read this, so Priya Vihar temple could be Solomon's temple. Was invaded by Siamese forces during right? So yeah,